Are Kyle Richards and Dorit Kemsley friends after season 14? After more than a year of friendship drama, Kyle Richards and Dorit Kemsley were able to put their issues aside and move forward in their relationship on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14 reunion. The ladies chatted through their tension, which first came to a head when Dorit read out a private text from Kyle backstage at the season 13 reunion, and they agreed to move on. The reunion taped on February 28, and Kyle said that she's still in a good place with Dorit today on April 8. "Dorit and I are good, I'm happy to say," the mom of four said during a briefing on Bravo livestream. "We worked things out during the season, and then, of course, had to go over things again at the reunion, which is always tricky, but I'm happy to say we're in a better place." Why were Kyle Richards and Dorit Kemsley feuding? In addition to being upset over Dorit publicly sharing her text at the season 13 reunion, Kyle previously said she felt like Dorit overstated the depth of their friendship. She was also hurt when Dorit made a comment about Kyle's friendship with Morgan Wade on an episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Dorit, on the other hand, felt like Kyle didn't have her back. She also got upset on season 14 when she learned that Kyle had been texting her estranged husband, Paul P.K. Kemsley. Dorit Kemsley weighs in on her status with Kyle Richards. Before the reunion aired, Dorit caught up with Interview Briefing on Bravo in March 2025, and she reflected on the breakdown of her friendship with Kyle. "Oh, it was nasty," she told the outlet about their drama, which took place as they were both navigating marital separations. "It was mean, and it was really hurtful, and I think that's why I had such strong emotions with regards to our friendship and my feelings about it, because it didn't feel consistent with the friendship I'd been made to believe we shared." Dorit teased that the two made major headway at the reunion. "Don't forget, we just filmed the reunion a couple of weeks ago, so I do think that viewers need to tune in and see," Dorit continued. "But I can categorically tell you this. After the reunion, there is absolutely no doubt which way we go." Viewers now know that Dorit and Kyle have decided to move forward in their friendship. Glass houses in Beverly Hills. The crack. The air was cool in Beverly Hills that night, a rarity in a town where even the moonlight seemed filtered for perfection. Kyle Richards stood alone on the balcony of her Spanish-style villa, wrapped in a cashmere robe, her phone clutched in her hand. The screen glowed faintly. Scene 10:14 p.m. No reply. Not from Dorit. She took a sip of her herbal tea, though wine might have suited her mood better. But Kyle was trying something new: clarity. No alcohol, no late-night sobbing fits, no spontaneous calls to Morgan. Clarity. A year ago, she would have sent a voice note, something breathy and dramatic, like, "Dorit, I'm not mad, I'm just confused, hurt, even. Why would you do that?" But she'd learned better. Real Housewives reunions were no place for confusion or subtlety. And if Dorit had taught her anything, it was that silence could sting louder than words. Kyle sighed and turned back toward her living room. A script sat unread on the coffee table, next to a framed photo from Portia's birthday party, everyone smiling, including Dorit. That was before Dorit read her private text in front of millions. Before Morgan's name became a punchline. Before she caught Dorit crying in Andy Cohen's dressing room, not because of PK, but because of her. The text. Dorit Kemsley never did anything halfway. That included betrayal. The text had been simple. "I can't do this on camera, Dorit. Please, just be real with me off screen." Kyle had sent it minutes before stepping onto the season 13 reunion stage, her fingers trembling. She hadn't expected a reply. She hadn't expected Dorit to read it into a microphone, her voice carefully modulated for maximum impact. "She wants to keep things off camera now," Dorit had said, raising an eyebrow toward the rest of the cast. Which is interesting, considering everything we shared. It had landed like a slap. Backstage, producers whispered. Erica rolled her eyes. Garcelle pursed her lips. Andy sighed. His show was a goldmine when emotions ran raw. The internet exploded that night. Reddit threads dissected Kyle's plea. TikTok had audio edits with dramatic music underscoring Dorit's reveal. Twitter, or rather X, crowned Dorit Queen of Receipts. But all Kyle felt was the sting of friendship cracking like old glass. The Morgan of it all, Morgan Wade, had never intended to become a household name in Beverly Hills. She liked her boots dusty, her whiskey neat, and her song sad. But then came Kyle. It started innocently. A podcast interview, a shared love for tattoos and country music. Then an Instagram photo. Then another, matching heart ink, concert appearances, yoga sessions, rumors. When Andy asked Dorit on Watch What Happens Live about Kyle's new friendship, she smirked, sipped her champagne, and said, "Look, I love Kyle, but I think she's on a journey." The clip went viral. The comment felt cold, condescending. Kyle replayed it 100 times, trying to read between the lines. Had Dorit ever truly been her friend? Or was she just another castmate hungry for a moment? PK and the Pink Elephant. By season 14, it was clear that both Kyle and Dorit were unraveling. Behind the glam squads and Bravo-sponsored brunches, their lives were shifting like California tectonics. Kyle's separation from Mauricio was now public. Dorit's marriage to PK was under scrutiny. Rumors swirled. Paparazzi circled. Then came the revelation. "I heard Kyle's been texting PK," Crystal muttered in a confessional. The room buzzed. Dorit confronted her during filming, tears catching in her lashes like diamonds. "You texted my estranged husband while we were on a break, Kyle?" she asked, voice trembling. Kyle looked genuinely shocked. "I was checking in, as a friend, because you weren't talking to me." Dorit threw her napkin down. "You were supposed to check on me, not him." There it was, the pink elephant stomping between them. The reunion, February 28, a date that would sit in Kyle's memory like her wedding anniversary. The set was cold, literally. The temperature had dropped unnaturally low, or maybe it was just the tension. Kyle sat in her silver gown, legs crossed, lips taut. Dorit wore feathers, always the dramatic one. Andy asked the questions, but it was the silence in between that did the damage. Then came that moment. Andy looked between them. Is there any way forward? It was Dorit who broke first. "I hated you," she said plainly. "I really did. I felt like you abandoned me when I needed you most. And it wasn't just about PK. It was everything. You were my person, and suddenly you weren't." Kyle blinked hard. "I didn't know how to help you when I couldn't help myself," she said. "My whole life was falling apart. I felt like you judged me when I needed grace." Dorit leaned back. The silence that followed wasn't cold this time. It was real. Later, when the cameras stopped, they hugged, awkward at first, then tight. No mix, no one-liners, just two broken women in designer gowns, quietly forgiving each other. April. On April 8, Kyle told the world they were in a good place, a throwaway comment for most. But for her, it was monumental. She and Dorit had texted nearly every day since the reunion. No more secrets, no more jabs. They even FaceTimed during one of Phoenix's soccer games and laughed about how fast the kids were growing. "I miss this," Dorit had said once, looking sleepy in her silk headscarf. "You and me like this." Kyle smiled. "Me too." The unseen footage. What the viewers never saw, what the cameras missed, was a moment between scenes at the reunion. Dorit had walked past Kyle's dressing room and paused. She knocked. Kyle opened the door, already in her robe, makeup half wiped away. "You okay?" Dorit asked. Kyle nodded. "Tired, but yeah." Dorit hesitated. "I meant what I said out there, about hating you, but I also meant what I didn't say." Kyle tilted her head. "What's that?" Dorit stepped inside. "That I still love you, like a sister. Even when I wanted to scream at you, I missed you. Every day." Kyle's eyes filled. I love you too. They hugged again. No audience this time. No glam, no lights. Just two women in bathrobes, quietly patching the cracks. Clarity. In the months that followed, they weren't perfect. There were still moments of tension, still old wounds that ached when prodded. But they made space for each other again. They met for yoga in the canyon. Dorit helped plan Portia's Sweet 16. Kyle brought soup when Dorit got sick and didn't tell a soul. Friendship wasn't always easy, especially not in Beverly Hills, but it was real. And sometimes that was enough. Because in a city full of glass houses, finding someone willing to help you pick up the pieces, not throw more stones, was the real miracle.